What's up, softball players, parents, coaches? Coach Dan here. Today I want to talk about something that's really important, and so here's the thing. When I was a strength coach, and I'm still a strength coach, but I sold my academy back in August, worked with a lot of kids from all different sports, all different ages for a long time, and we got a lot of common questions, my business partner Lucas and I, about how can I get my daughter faster? How can I have her hit the ball harder, turn singles into doubles? How can I get her to throw harder? Those are the big things, right? Everyone needs more speed. Softball is a very speed-based game, right? It's a small field. You can beat out ground balls, turn singles into doubles. And it's a common misnomer, and this is not just for sprinting speed, but also for jumping, because we worked with a ton of volleyball players. But when we're trying to develop explosiveness and speed, a lot of parents, they do the research on the internet, which is fantastic. And I applaud you if you're out there reading everything you can and checking out all these YouTube videos, including my own. I thank you for being here. A lot of places on the web will shop you plyometrics. They want to say plyometrics are the answer for speed and power development. And in a lot of ways they are, depending on where your athlete is in their development. So when you're big and strong and physical and you can do a lot of things, you can squat. So say you're a 140-pound girl and you're a sophomore in high school. If you can squat more than your body weight, like you can squat 175 pounds with good form, and you can do heavy farmer's carries, meaning you can walk down with 50, 60-pound dumbbells in your hands. You can deadlift 200 pounds. You can do 15, 20 good push-ups, which is really hard for a female athlete. And that was something that we always aspire to get all of our female athletes to do. At least 10 good push-ups on the ground, no knees, excellent form. That's a really good milestone for strength, especially as a high school, middle schooler. When you can do all those things where you're pretty well built, and that takes probably 3 or 4 years of solid strength training, then when you have all that strength, plyometrics, they turn raw strength into power. And so the difference between strength is lots of force exerted slowly over time, like a big Mack truck that could run through a brick wall, but it takes a while to get going, versus power, which is something light, like a Ferrari that you hit the gas and it's so light that it's got a really high power to weight ratio, and the Ferrari can just take off really quick, right? We want to convert that Mack truck, super strong, into the Ferrari that's really fast for its strength to weight ratio. But we have to get strong first, so that every time you hit the ground with your feet, you're actually pushing the ground backwards to push your body forward. That's how sprinting works. And so the plyometric stuff is really valuable when you're strong enough, when you've built this really strong foundation of strength. And so that is going to apply to most female athletes who are 17 plus years old. And that's from my experience being a strength coach for a long time, working with a lot of female athletes. And so prior to that point, plyometrics are not going to have a very good effect. They're not going to be a good use of your time. They're not going to be good bang for your buck, because they're teaching you to apply the force that you have, the strength that you have, into the ground faster. That's what a plyometric does. It teaches you to be quick off the ground, like hot lava, right? All these jumping drills, deceleration drills, which again, are not inherently good or bad. They're just a tool, right? So when you don't have the prerequisite strength, so say you're a 13-year-old girl and you've been doing strength training for 1 year and you're just average strength for your size and your age, teaching you to apply the very little amount of power that you have faster doesn't really do much. That's like putting an exhaust kit and like a air intake on a Honda Civic that has like a 120 horsepower engine. Now, if you take that exhaust and all those little tweaks, the fine tuning, to a car that has a really big engine, boom, then it really takes off and makes a big difference. But when you don't have a big engine yet, adding all the fine tuning stuff, which is what plyometrics essentially does, it won't have the effect that you want. So the point of this video is I want to educate you as parents, as coaches, and as players that until you're really physically built, you're really strong, you're really powerful for your age relative to your peers, and this is an easy way to test this, is to say, do I know many girls who are stronger than me? If the answer is a lot of girls are stronger than you, then you're not ready for plyometrics. If you're like looking around and you're like, I'm the beast, like I'm the one who out squats everyone in this room, who out push-ups everyone in this room, who out lunges everyone in this room, I'm the strongest one in pretty much any room I'm at. If you're that high schooler or middle schooler, then plyometrics might be right for you. Again, we need to figure that out with your trainer and all that. So what I want to encourage you to do is that when you're young, and for parents, you're looking for strength training and you want your daughter to get faster, which is a very, very important thing in softball, You need to focus on their whole body strength because number one, running is a very whole body exercise. When you look at Olympic sprinters, they have big, strong backs. They have ripped abs, right? They have like a pretty actually strong like chest and upper musculature, and they have diesel legs, obviously, right? They're not just like all legs and scrawny upper bodies. They're strong everywhere because sprinting really fast, your core and your upper body, they stabilize all that power that you're producing. So you need this stuff to keep your car from basically like falling apart. It's like if you put a Ferrari engine in a go-kart, the thing would just like the tires would explode, the wheels would explode, everything would just fall apart because the engine's too strong for the rest of the body. And that's why whole body strength training is so important to also get faster. So when you look at the fastest runners on the field, they can also do tons of chin-ups. Like they're super strong with everything that they do, not just their legs. But the first thing and the foundation that you need to lay is really good quality strength training. That means full range of motion. That means learning how to do excellent lunges, lots of posterior chain stuff, which is for your glutes and your hamstrings, which is actually much more important than your quads. Learning all of the fundamental basics and then slowly getting stronger at all of them. And so you might be in a strength development and a size development, which is hypertrophy is the word for developing size. You might be building size and strength for 5 years. It might be from age 12 to 17 before you're really ready for plyometrics, before they're really gonna make a difference. Because again, we've got to build you that big engine. We have to teach you to develop all this power, and then plyometrics, they teach your body to express that power into the ground faster. So now you can go boom, and I can hit the ground hard like that Mack truck, but now I can take that Mack truck power and I can boom, hit it in the ground really, really fast. And then you're like that Ferrari that you hit the gas and you go, versus with the big Mack truck, you hit the gas and you slowly get going, but once you are going, you got a lot behind you. So as a parent, one of the things I want to do is I want to help you navigate your kid's sports career. And as an athlete, you need to be in charge and understand what you're doing and why. And so one of the core things is just understanding what good training looks like depending on your age. So if you're somewhere between 10, when you might start doing some sort of sports performance training. Most athletes start somewhere between 10 and 13 nowadays. When you start, it should be all about the basics, getting your whole body stronger, your upper body, your lower body, your core, all of it together, big movements like push-ups, chin-ups, rows, squat variations that are safe depending on your age, lunges, a lot of hamstring curl type exercises. All those things are the absolute most important foundation you can lay. And that phase of your training is gonna last a long time. Even if you're still slow at age 15, like you're like, man, I just wanna run a lot faster. I'm getting stronger, but I'm still slow. You still need to keep applying power before it's time to hit the gas and make yourself explosive. Because if you don't have the big engine, the explosive stuff isn't gonna matter. And a lot of this, and the last thing I wanna add here before I sign off, because I know this is getting long, is that with a lot of athletes, we can't out-train their development. So we've had lots of kids who are like pretty strong and they work really hard, but they're still just slow. Like we just watch them, they're just trudging through sand or mud. And that a lot of times is just their development as human beings. We had one young man, he's now a Division I baseball player. He worked super hard, great family, great kid. He was just like really slow, like just long-legged for a while. And it's just because he kind of still was a baby. Like he still had kind of like baby fat, like baby cheeks. And as he started to really become a man, where his body started to like suck up some of that baby fat, and you could see his body really change, and he started to harden up, and just kind of went from like adolescent to man. He got a lot faster because the sprint technique was there, the power, the strength was there. His body just wasn't ready to go fast yet. And when he hit his like 17, 18 kind of growth spurt, he really took off, and he went from like a 7.5 runner to a 6.7 runner. And we've seen that with female volleyball players, where they're just waiting to jump higher, and then it finally comes. We've seen it with so many softball players where they're just, again, kind of running through mud, and we just know that we can't train them out. They're just gonna hit their next growth spurt, and when they do, boom, finally it takes off. So this is just part of the human development phase where sometimes you just can't out-train their development, and that's okay. And you keep instilling good work ethic habits, you keep trying to do the right things, but just know that there's always gonna be limitations in your development, and sometimes your body's just like, look, we're not ready yet, we'll get there eventually, and that's just part of the waiting game. That's not fair, and I'm sure there's lots of you listening here today who maybe you're just waiting, like you're still like way smaller than your peers, you're shorter, you're gonna hit that growth spurt. Just wait, hang on, keep doing the right things. The growth spurt will eventually come, and when it does, if you've been doing all the right things, learning the good technique, developing a good work ethic, developing a great attitude, and you're a good teammate, then when the growth spurt hits, everything will be there, okay? So hopefully this video helped. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. You can also jump on my website. I have a new thing I'm doing. I want to connect more with my followers, my fans. If you want to book a call with me, we can talk. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, hit me up. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, share with a friend, and I'll see you in the next one.